Okay, we are recording. Welcome to the call, everybody. This is our weekly coaching call. As I was saying on our previous call, I had a power cut earlier today, so I wasn't able to do our 4 o'clock UK time call, which meant some people moved to the last call, and a couple of people will probably be on this call as well. Also, we do a call on a Saturday, but again, that becomes a funny call sometimes because it's a Saturday and some people aren't around, some people are. So many people are at different levels, many people are at different stages, and wherever you're at is absolutely fine. Some people are going through the create, the capture, the connect, the comment, and the communicate, building the warm market. And I would say if you haven't got more than 100 people in your group yet, then stick to that. Keep going through the first 5 steps: create, capture, connect, comment, communicate, because you're not ready for invite, present, and close. If you've got more than 100 people in your group, then you want to start looking at the invite, the present, and the close, and then we'll look at follow up and duplicate later. So I would say anything less than 100, focus on getting more people into your group and just go back through the steps until you get better and better and better at it. So what I'll do is, Amizikam was on the last call but wasn't able to get a word in, unfortunately, because we went slightly over. So if you want to unmute yourself, Amizikam, and just let me know any little successes or wins you've had recently, and if you've got any questions or anything I
can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
How are you doing?
Yep, fantastic, thank you.
Okay. Basically, from the last time we spoke, that was 2 weeks ago. I wasn't able to come on last week. So from the last time we spoke, I think I had about 20 then. So it's increased by about 10 now. And I was on the last call, and I heard one of the ladies talk about sending out messages but not really getting people responding. And then I don't know if it's too early to complain, but the engagement on the group is a little bit it's poor, really. And I do live videos on a weekly basis because that's when I can find the time to, like, live trainings on a particular topic. And you mentioned something on the last call about focusing on a particular area. And what I'm doing pretty much is just social media, right? I'm using social media to grow the business. So I don't know if that's too broad. You said Robin is doing the Instagram thing, but I'm mostly doing social media. So that includes Facebook and LinkedIn for now. Nothing else. Like Instagram, I don't really have much going. I don't really know much about I don't really know enough to teach about Instagram. So that's basically it. So I don't know. And then one more thing: is there something else I can do? To feed them method strategies. Is there something else I can do to increase the response I get?
Okay, there's a lot of questions in there, kind of indirect questions, but also questions nonetheless. So I'll see what I can answer to help you out. I would say, firstly, social media is, you can definitely build a community, you can definitely build an audience with social media. However, when it becomes broader, it becomes a bit harder to do. Because people don't know exactly what it is that they're following, and people tend to only follow people that they feel can help them with a certain topic or a certain skill. So if you can hone in on one area, and I would say Facebook is probably the best opportunity, because LinkedIn, it often becomes easier to build something native. So if people are on Facebook, it's often easier to teach them Facebook. If they're on Instagram, it's often better to then teach them Instagram. If they're on LinkedIn, it's often easier to teach them LinkedIn. So you teach them on the platform they're on, which will help them with that specific topic, and you'll find it's easier. Yeah, I'm sure that makes sense. So if they're on Facebook, for you, if you're focusing on social media, it's probably worth digging into social media. And if you heard me talk about the 10 by 10 matrix, 10 categories, 10 rows down, make a note of all the things you can think of related to Facebook and fill out 100 grids, 100 spots in a grid with all that information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit, but can you explain a little bit more? I don't think I caught that when you talked about it.
Okay. Well, if it's Facebook, for example, look at 10 topics on Facebook. So Facebook Live could be one topic. Facebook groups could be another topic. Facebook ads could be another topic. Facebook fan pages could be another topic. Facebook profile could be another topic. And that's 5 topics. There's easily 10 that you can find, but different sections or subsections of Facebook. Then you would go, so you'd write that across the top in 5 of the columns, and then you'd go, okay, so Facebook groups, and now you'd start to write ideas based on Facebook groups going down. So it would be Facebook groups, it would be content creation, Facebook groups, then under that would be engagement, Facebook groups, how to set up a Facebook group, Facebook groups, how to, so you've got 10 topics, subtopics under Facebook groups. And then you've got 10 subtopics under maybe Facebook fan pages, 10 subtopics under Facebook ads, and gradually go through each of those topics, and it gives you a whole a broad topics to talk about around Facebook, for example. So you become the known person about Facebook. Maybe you could target a certain group of people, a certain audience. Maybe it could be parents, maybe it could be mothers who are trying to build a business, maybe it could be people from a certain country, maybe it could be people who speak a certain language. Maybe so we're starting to now drill down a little bit, but the more focused and specific you can get, the more engagement you will get. Two reasons you're probably not getting engagement at the moment: one, you don't have enough members, and two, the people that join your group don't know what you do specifically, and they don't see you as somebody that can help them get what they want yet. They will. It takes time. And the people that have been doing this process, some people get results very, very quickly. Some people it can take weeks. Some people it can take months. Again, if you want to build a business online, it's sticking with a process, trying everything you can until you figure out what works. I'm giving you a system that works. You've seen it from other people 100%. However, I can't say that, if you do exactly what I do, it's going to work for you. If you do exactly what Robin does, it's going to work for you, because it might not, because it all comes down to your own personality and style. It's tricky. It really is tricky, because obviously we're trying to do. Many people are trying to do this around a life, a family, a job, and it can be a challenge. Consistency can be hard sometimes with being consistent and keeping it in your mind, keeping focused, and keeping consistent is often the most important thing. When it comes down to conversations with people and people not responding back to you, it depends where the people come from, for one. So if, let's just say all people that join your group are not created equally. If you had 10 people come from Twitter that had got no pre-relationship with you at all, if you did a solo ad and you sent out an email blast to someone else's group and these people didn't know you at all, maybe they were from a certain country, maybe they spoke a certain language, maybe they're interested in a certain topic, but it's not related to what you're doing, you're going to find that you get no engagement, you get no response. Whereas if it was people from Facebook that had maybe watched a Facebook Live video that you did, or had responded to a post that you put out, like a teaser post, you're going to find that those people tend to respond more when they're in your group. And then the other kind of question that you'd asked was, what can you do? What extra can you do? I would say go back through the 100 leads method, go down to the interviews with the ambassadors, which are at the bottom of the 100 leads method, listen to those, because there's 13 or 14 traffic strategies in there that you can use to apply, that Neil used. He got 25 leads. That Alenka used. She got 195 leads. Again, there's a number of other people that have used the feeder teaser methods to generate leads. But there is a whole, you could go back through that and listen to it for the next 2 weeks and still not get all the nuggets out of there, and then just apply that and focus on one area. I hope that helps.
definitely helps. I've just been muting because I have someone here that just wouldn't let me.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I don't want to, have her screaming on here or anything like that. But yeah, definitely, you've definitely helped, and that's what I needed to know. So I'm just going to unmute, or rather mute, so that it doesn't disturb what we're doing here.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
If you need to watch the replay, I'll upload it tomorrow, and you'll be able to just listen to what I said again. But yeah, I'd say go through the 100 leads method, because it's in the academy as a bonus, and listen to those audios. There's a number of things in there that'll help.
Yeah, I definitely will. With the grid thing you talked about, the Facebook thing, yeah, it's definitely a very good idea. So I'll do that.
Cool, good stuff. All right, thank you for sharing, and I will speak to you later. All right, Neil, how are you doing?
Hello.
Oh, yes, he's got his new headphones on. Cool.
New headphones.
They look good. How do they feel? They feel a bit weird, or they feel all right?
Yeah, they feel all right. They're quite small, so you can hear nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Just getting used to it.
Like a helicopter pilot now. So how have things been going?
Yeah, really good. So I've got 120 people in my group. My blog traffic is growing as well as a sideline, which is really good. I'm trying to tie everything in together because I don't have much time. So try and write a blog post and share bits in the Facebook group, which is my content, and just sharing that in there. And then also just trying to contact people and talk to people. I've been going more into MLSP and listening to some of those trainings as well, and then going, okay, now I need to focus. There's lots of things.
Yeah, and that takes you down the high tech route often as well.
Yeah, so come back to basics. But enjoying just speaking to people actually, and I feel now that I've got more that I can offer in terms of knowledge, but also products. So if someone was like, oh, I really need to get more Instagram followers, I can say from experience as well, I've got about 8,000 and did it in 4 months, and this is what I do, and here's a great product. And I think when you've got experience and you've done it, you've got that confidence as well to say to people, this is how you do it if you want to know. And then because I think when you first start out, I feel a little bit of a phony because I'm not really there yet, and people are seeing me as an authority, but I'm not really. So I try not to set it up that way. Yeah. But as you grow, you get gaining more skills and knowledge and more confidence. So
well, it's exactly. I was talking about the exact same thing on the previous call with somebody. And we were talking about being authentic, essentially, and you can only be authentic when you do something yourself. And often there's business opportunities that we promote that we haven't really had results with, or we don't really believe in 100%, and it's much harder to recommend or promote those things. And I think that's a good thing about with the affiliate program we've got with the academy now as well. You've got some results from it, the same with some other courses maybe that you've got. So it becomes easier internally to say, well, I've got these results, I've generated some leads, I'm having conversations every day, my blog traffic's grown, I've got more followers, and all of a sudden people start to listen to you and pay attention to you. So yeah, it's a really valid point, and I think it's something that other people probably feel exactly the same.
Yeah, it's good. The other big success I had, or achievement, was getting a lot of people asking me for advice. But one particular guy kept asking. I said, well, probably the best thing is if we jump on a call. And then he jumped at the chance. And then, we did a Skype call.
Oh, cool.
And I spoke for about 25 minutes. He didn't really say much. I was trying to engage more. All this stuff was coming out, giving him advice on his blog and stuff like that. So
good. Well done. And you said you felt a bit nervous when you did the call for the first time, and that's understandable. I still feel nervous these days when I talk to people, because often what happens is because we set. It's not always like this, but because there's an appointment, let's say tomorrow, and you've got work beforehand, and you're thinking about it. Well, what am I going to say? What if they say this? What if it does this? And it's kind of, it all gets built up a little bit in our minds as to what's going to happen. So when you'd said that you felt a bit nervous, I thought I can resonate with that, and I'm pretty sure everybody else could as well. So it's good that you did it.
Yeah.
And
more nervous than I thought, actually.
Yeah.
But
especially when in your position of management position at work and all that. It levels everybody to start with, because it's a new skill as well, so it's the first time you've done it. Cool. Well done for doing it. That's great.
Yeah, so that was good. And the new headphones, of course, that's a good achievement.
Yes. So any specific questions at all? Are you good at the moment?
Just a couple of little things. I've had a few people leave the group. So I was just wondering if there's a way of tracking, because I don't know which ones have left.
No.
Is there any way you can find
I
out?
wouldn't even waste time on it, to be honest. Once you've got, I mean, once you've got more people coming in on a regular basis, you won't even notice. And even if they're on your spreadsheet or whatever, if you've had a conversation with them and you wanted to go back through everybody, there's no harm in just going back through people and messaging them. I'm sure Networking Superstars gets loads of people leave and loads of people join, but all I know is it goes up. That's all we want to know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've been doing a lot and haven't had much time to just contact people and invite them into the group and do feeder messages and stuff like that. But it's been growing. I think 20 in the last week, so it's starting to grow
organically as well.
Because of me not doing much,
That's cool. That's good. And it does get to that critical mass where I don't know exactly how many, but let's say 1,000 people. All of a sudden, you start to find 5 people a day will start to come in, and the more you've got your link out there, the more you've got content going in other groups, or again, it's got to become the traffic part. Eventually has got to become automated mostly, because none of us have the time or want to be doing this forever. We want to be building a business ultimately that pays us whilst we're not there, whilst we're on the beach, putting our feet up, enjoying our lives, doing the things that we want to do, spending time with the people we want to do it with, making money in our sleep, essentially. That's the dream, what everybody wants. And, it's possible without a doubt. I've done it many, 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 many times. I love what I do and I still do it because I love it, but there's a lot of stuff that you can outsource, that you can automate, that you can delegate. The message process can be outsourced at some point. We've got people that are doing that now. Pippa does mine. The traffic part can be automated. We can look at Facebook ads, Instagram ads, obviously posting more on Instagram, build up a bigger following. I think Robin's probably averaging 20 to 30, maybe 40 leads a day coming in, and she's probably not doing a great deal now to get those leads. So that whole part can be automated mostly. Then we've got, the conversation process, the invite to the webinar process. Somebody else could do that for you later on down the line. And then the only thing that we do mostly is pick up the phone and speak to qualified people. And then if you're building, let's say, a network marketing business, for example, which I know many people are, it becomes a leveraged process. So let's say I introduce you, I introduce Isabel, I introduce Mary Lynn, and then they introduce somebody, 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 I introduce somebody, and all of a sudden you've got this organization of several hundred, several thousand, 5,000, 10,000 people, all bringing new people in, and you're there, supporting the people, but they're doing the work whilst you're not there. It's massive, massive, massive leverage. And that's ultimately where the excitement comes. And also with the blog as well, once you've got a blog that has got several thousand visitors coming in every day, then, whenever you post, you've got people seeing it, you're making money whilst you're kind of sleeping again. So it's where we're at now, where you're at now is definitely it's kind of the foundation, essentially, learning the skills, the high touch, the personal connections. Then we look at the automation a bit more, and the high tech. And, eventually you'll be able to say, well, I don't need to work tonight. I don't need to work tomorrow. I can take a bit of time off and not feel guilty for it because I know I've got leads coming in, etc.
Yeah, and just on that note, how I see it is you're just building a network, and I've got quite a lot of social media, but I've automated quite a lot of the process already. I mean, I'm paying for £10 a month sometimes to manage social media, but I don't spend that much time. But it's just about expanding a network. So I've got about 6 or 7 social media. Mm-hmm. I've got Pinterest set up, and I only have to work half hour a week. And it's building and building. And there's other platforms and forums, and you can just be out there everywhere. But you've also got to try and manage the time.
Yeah.
And people are coming from all sorts of different places now. So it's sort of like casting your web, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And it takes a bit of time.
I used to think it's just a blog, and then you write content and people find that through the search engines. Yeah. But that's like one part of it.
Yeah, completely.
And that's what I'm teaching people in my group is to go, no, 70% promotion of your blog. Write a post, and then 70% should be just promoting. Then you meet all sorts of people and exchange blog posts and things like that. So
very good. You're learning from doing, and you're becoming authentic as you do it. And Facebook groups and that kind of thing all tie into the blog, because you're building an audience. So when it comes down to teaching people what we do with the 6 steps or the 10 steps, you can kind of talk a bit more about that, building an audience that people can then see the blog, because we know that it can be quite frustrating writing a blog post and nobody reads it or sees it when we've spent hours doing it.
Yeah, and I've got lots of people in that boat in my group.
Yeah, good. Seems like you've got quite a hungry audience, that people who are struggling and looking for certain things to help them.
Yeah, definitely. And so I've been starting to promote your group here, and been sending invites and things like that. I think I sent about 20 invites, and I've got 10 people said yes. I've not got confirmation that they've clicked through and registered from everyone. I think about 6 of them.
Yeah, and you might find that others have as well. But what I would say, what I said to the last group as well, is follow up with them on Thursday. Everybody that you've sent the link out to, there's a message in the instructions, I think message 4 or something like that. Just go back through that again, and you can only do what you can only do what you can do. So you can only invite them.
Yeah, but one just quick question, and then I'll shut up. Just on that, I've got a lot of people say, "Oh, I can't make that time. Oh, that's a shame. I'm not going to be here." How do you deal with that, and what's the best way to respond?
Two ways, 2 ideas. Ideally, we want them to watch live, because when they watch live, they shut off distractions, they carve out the time, they set the time, they're ready to watch. They're there, they're in the zone. We've got them. It's a controlled environment essentially when they watch live. So we're going to run the webinar every 2 weeks, even though officially in the instructions we say this is a one-time webinar. So what I would say is, first idea that you could do is say, I'm not sure if we're going to be doing another webinar. However, if it's successful as we think it's going to be, or if there are more than 100 people registering, which I know we've already got 150 registered now, but if there's more than 100 people show up, then we may do the webinar again, either next week or the week after. Would you like me to let you know if we do it again? And they'll probably say yes, and then just create a tab on your spreadsheet or whatever that says re-invite to the next webinar or something like that. The other idea is to tell them that there will be a replay that will only be available for 48 hours. Would you like them to send them a link? But they'll only have 48 hours to watch it, and then we'll take it down. Because again, it's if we give people a link to the replay and we say, yeah, it's there, you watch it anytime you want, they'll never watch it. But if they know it's going to be removed and the opportunity to watch it is going to go, then they'll be jumping over it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's trying to keep the posture as well. What I was thinking is maybe saying, I'm not sure I can get you on this time, and then just message him on the day saying, like, I've got 1 seat left. If you can't get on, register, and you've got 48 hours to watch it. So it's almost like last minute, here's a favour, lucky you sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that'd be I think something like that. And you'll figure it out as you go. The 2 things that I'd said to do, they definitely work, certainly for me and for others. And so it's worth trying different things until you find what works for you. And you use either the replay or use the fact that we are going to run it every 2 weeks. But if you tell people it's going to be every 2 weeks, they're going to go, oh well, I can't make it this week, I'll make it next week. And then it's like, oh well, I can't make it next week, I'll make it the week after. And that's why we've got to say, even though it's bending the truth slightly, because we might not run it in 2 weeks, or we might run it in 2 weeks. But we've got that inbuilt scarcity in the whole thing, so it becomes more important for people to be on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, good stuff. Thank you for sharing, and great results. I'd looked before, and I saw that you'd had a number of people registered, although I can't tell exactly. It's not something I can get for everybody, but I did notice a few, certainly, I think 5 or 6 people at least. So
yeah, sounds about right.
All good. All right, cool. Let's go for, I'm not sure who was on next. I think Mary Lynn. If you're there, I can just about see your glasses and your hair. Oh, let me unmute you. There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Here,
Yes.
how are
I've
you?
been working a lot without glasses. I need to put my glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm just continuing.
Good,
really,
well done for you.
Been making a lot of friends, and I tend to make a lot of new friends and then contact them then and it keeps on saying my internet connection is unstable, which I can't understand.
Okay, well, I can hear you fine, so you're all right at the moment, but yeah,
right.
it does come up
Yeah.
that sometimes.
Yeah, so really just it seems to go in fits and starts with me, that I don't get anybody in for ages, and then lots of people that I've sent the link to and spoken to seem to come in afterwards.
Yes.
They said, yes, I'd like to come, and then it can be days or a week before they actually do anything about it, and just do it at random.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know, that's people, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, ideally, we want to get you to the point where you've got people coming in, like we were talking with Neil, automatically. That's the goal, is to get you to that level.
That have come, you know, but I've got more people now asking me to be friends with them, which I never had before.
Good.
So whether, you know, they're probably the two are linked.
Yes. So have you got any anything that you need any guidance with at all, or?
Well, only that I was in a it's really to do with my business, and I spoke to Lynn about this, and she assured me that there was no problem. It was just that somebody from Forever, my primary business, said to me, what are you doing selling leads? And I said, I beg your pardon. I need to get them for myself, not sell them. And she said, oh, they've been discussing something about, and I think she must have misunderstood the post about the Facebook Live leads.
Okay.
Getting leads through Facebook Live. That's the only thing I can think that she must have understood. I'm now quite careful about how I word what I'm saying.
And it becomes almost like a censorship of free speech, doesn't it? And it's not a nice feeling to have. Sometimes
I was a bit worried about it.
You shouldn't. Certainly, I mean, you might want to double check with higher up or compliance, but certainly from my experience, there's never been, as long as you're not mentioning any company names, which I don't think you are. You know, it's not like you've branded the name of your group with the company name, etc., and you're talking about it that way. There should never be any issues, because doesn't matter what business you're promoting on the back end, all you're doing is you're talking about stuff that's going to help other people. Even if you were selling leads, there's no harm in that, because you know, you're generating leads, and I know you're not, and you know, I don't, nobody else does, I don't think, but at the same time, I think there's a great opportunity there if people wanted to, but you shouldn't get in any issue. There shouldn't be any problems. Often what happens, and I don't know the person that said that to you, but it becomes there can often be kind of a fear in a way. It's like, well, what's this person doing that I'm not? How are they doing this? How are they making this extra money when I can't make any? And how are they getting these results, and they're getting people joining their groups and that? And often it can be an insecurity type of thing. So they're like, well, what are you doing? And obviously I don't know the situation with yourself, but that can often be the case.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So yes, do you have any other questions at all, or anything?
Not really, no. It's just I did sort of I'm finding that if I do a theme, it helps me.
Yes, good, well done.
So I did attraction marketing last week, and I've gone on to the 6 steps this week now. So I find it strange that I'm posting and sharing about the 6 steps when really we want somebody to buy the 6 steps. So that's something that I found difficult, how I have the right to do that when it's your.
Oh yes. Well, you know, ultimately you're it's a funny thing, value and offering information to people online, especially because, you know, in any industry, in any, we often happen to be talking to other internet marketers or other network marketers, and we're teaching how to do how to get traffic, how to do the 6 steps, etc. But in a lot of, let's say somebody was in let's say they were in a health and wellness business, then what they'd be teaching is the information related to health and wellness. So people might need to know more about diet and health and fitness. They might want to learn about yoga. They might want to learn about all these topics. And rather than talking about the company specifically, we talk about the value and offering the training and the advice to help that person who's struggling. So with regards to the 6 steps, I could, or you could, or we could literally teach 80% of what's in the course, and people would still potentially buy the course. You know, I've taught a lot of stuff. I mean, if you go to Bray Higdon's blog, for example, he has probably got several thousand posts on network marketing, how to overcome objections, how to rebuild a warm market, how to build relationships, literally every single thing about network marketing he's got on his blog. Yet he still makes $3.5 million a year selling his own information products that basically teach the same thing, but in a structured manner and a structured approach. So yeah, don't have any worry about giving too much information out there. And yeah, I mean, for the 6 steps, you're fine just talking about it and sharing. It's because it's your slant and your ideas. Laura's done it for a couple of years now, and Robin, she talks about the 6-step sponsoring sequence, and many of the others as well. So use it as an idea, or I mean, even sometimes we even do a week on a topic. So it could be a week on creating content, it could be a week on capturing leads. It just gives you a bit more things to do. So what to help you with to get more leads faster? That's the question, isn't it? How can we help you get more leads faster? How do you think you could get more leads faster?
More people, posting more groups.
One idea?
Yeah, go into my friends list already, which I've done with a few people that I thought might be interested. Some have been interested, some haven't.
Well, what I want to see if we can get you somehow up to, and the same for anybody watching or listening, if you're doing it all manually, if you're messaging people individually, if you're building relationships individually, that's an important skill to have, definitely. However, it's limited in what you can do from a time perspective, because you can only connect with a certain amount of people each day. If you look at what Neil did probably a month ago, if you look at what Alenka did recently, if you look at what Robin does, if you look at what some of the others do, find a pool or a pond or a lake, essentially, on Facebook. So metaphor for an audience or a group of people. It could be a Facebook group that's got several hundred or several thousand people in that are interested in what you do. Look at building a presence inside of that group, inside of that Facebook group. So every day or every couple of days you're posting some value, and then when they do their promotional days, which tends to be once a week, then you could post a teaser post to get people to raise their hands to say that they want something. And Neil did it with his blog, Blogging for Profits ebook. He said, I've got this who wants to make money through blogging? I've got this free ebook. I've only got a certain amount of copies available. If you'd like it, leave me a comment, let me know, and I'll get it sent over to you. Alenka said there's a webinar for Facebook Live. It's going to be on Wednesday. Who would like the link to watch the replay? Something like that. And she posted that in a group. She had 195 people say yes. Now, sometimes it's being in the right place at the right time. But yeah, I mean, for both perspectives, Neil's was a fairly short post. Alenka's was a fairly short post. She'd got an image on it in the right group at the right time, and she got a lot of engagement with it. From my perspective, the better I can write my copy, the better I can write the posts, the more compelling I can write the posts, the more people will comment and see it and engage on it. So it comes down to then learning how to write more persuasively, and that's a skill in itself. And I think in the content creation module, in the Mastering the Content Creation game, down towards the bottom there is a persuasion writing or copywriting 101, I think, where there's, I talk about, I think it's something like 10 or 12 elements, where you're writing something, you use ... Sometimes you use capital letters, sometimes you use apostrophes, sometimes you use they are there with an apostrophe rather than they are. So it's all about how you word it to grab people's attention, to get them interested. So yeah, so what, maybe think consciously about how you're writing your content, because creating content's the first barrier that we've all got to do. Once you start to do that consistently, which you are doing now, which other people are doing, which is great, it's now, well, how can I now write better content? How can I get more people to engage with it? And also consider posting something like the teaser post on your profile, because you've obviously been building up a relationship with other people. The other big thing is, this goes to everybody and anybody watching, is posture and credibility and authority. If you come across as somebody that has not made it yet, or is struggling, or sometimes I'll see people even in the academy post something like, yes, I'm still struggling with that bit myself. They'll post in a comment on a post. I forget what it was or who it was. There's so they post something like that. Well, yeah, I'm still struggling with that myself. Or, it could be lead generation. Well, I'm still struggling. I haven't quite managed to get that many leads yet. What you've got to remember is social media is like a TV, essentially. It's like everybody's watching you. Why should they follow you? Why should they pay attention to you if they can see you're struggling and, you don't know what you're doing yourself? And some people do that. They come across as very, and I'm not saying this to you, for you specifically in any way. I'm just sharing this just because it came to my mind. But I see a lot of people doing it. They come across as kind of unconfident, and they're a bit uncertain in what they're doing, and then they expect people to follow them. They expect people to listen to them. They expect people to pay attention to them. They expect people to comment. They expect people to give them their time, essentially. And it doesn't happen. So it's building and crafting that attractive character that everybody wants to follow, that everybody wants to listen to, that everybody wants to be part of. We want to follow people that we know can either inspire us, uplift us, motivate us, and help us achieve our goals ultimately. Those are really the people that we tend to follow the most. The good thing is, when you're not doing video, it's easier to do because it's written and you can take a bit longer to do it. If it's video, then it kind of gives the game away if somebody doesn't know much yet. And that's why video, some people say, do video, it's the best thing ever. Problem when you do video, if you don't know your topic very well, then you end up in and ahhing and, oh yeah, I don't know. And you kind of go around in a circle for ages, and you lose the audience basically, because you've got like 10 seconds to grab somebody's attention before they've gone. And once they've seen that, you've kind of lost the posture and kind of lost the audience at that point. So it's an interesting thing. That's just certainly from my perception. I mean, you're always going to get people that are at a lower level than you, will tend to follow you anyway. But if you do want to get the masses, you want to position yourself. It's an attractive avatar essentially, and your avatar is your personality, your online personality, and it comes down to crafting your avatar the right way. And everything you say on social media, do it knowing that your audience and prospects are watching. They're paying attention. And one thing you say that is negative or shows that you don't know what you're talking about, it's going to take a bit of, I forget the phrase, but it's something like credibility takes months or years to build, seconds to lose or destroy. And it's, I'm not saying this to put fear into anybody in any way, although it may seem to be coming across that way. I just want you to know that people are watching, basically. So, craft your character and as you want people to see you as.
Thank you. That helps lots. Yes,
good.
Thank you very much.
Good
Great.
stuff. Great. And again, most of that wasn't aimed at you specifically, but it was it will help, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. All right, let's go with Isabel, and then we'll go with Sonia, if that's okay. Hey, Isabel, we got you on in the end. Oh, yeah, let me just unmute you very quickly. There you go. You're unmuted. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, which is good with your headphones, which is fantastic.
Great. Okay, I'm still not growing my group, but my Facebook is growing. So I've got almost 500 people now on Facebook. I'm still engaging better on Facebook than on Instagram.
Good.
I find that out. I'm more and more, as you were telling her, I'm putting my quotes and engaging in a lot of groups. And I'm teasing people, and I'm having huge chats on Facebook with 15 people and which people I don't know. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Engaging is not a problem. I'm still working and learning, and what you were telling her, I still have to learn a bit the teasing. Teasing is a bit, engaging with people is no problem. I had almost 400 congratulations from all the people I had on Facebook.
Wow.
So that's why I was so exciting about.
Yeah.
So the people, they are really giving feedback, and they're really, I mean, I'm growing on Facebook, but the teasing is still a bit, I have to learn that a bit.
Yeah, go back through module 1, content creation, the feeder teaser method. Also, maybe the 100 leads method, which is the audio trainings. Go down to the interviews with Robin and with Sarah, I think. And there's some good methods there about using other groups to post, to tease people, just like with what Neil did, what with Lenka did. Because, again, you're great with the relationship building, with the personal connections.
That's true.
However, at the same time, you might find that, well, it's an interesting thing, actually, because one of the reasons we use Facebook groups and we get people to our group is when somebody joins a group, they see all these people in the group, and then basically they look up and they see the owner of the group. And it's like, that person is a leader. That person is somebody to pay attention to. That person is somebody to listen to. So when you're having personal connections on Facebook on your profile, you're basically meeting somebody at exactly the same level as you.
Mm-hmm.
Peer-to-peer, no posture, which means that you share information, they share information, you share information, they share information. It becomes a battle of who's the most confident to bring somebody to do something. When somebody comes to you into your group, or they come to your blog or your website, or they come to a webinar or whatever it is, and they see you as the owner, as the author, as the speaker, as the whatever it is, all of a sudden they look up and everything changes. They listen to you, they pay attention to you, they follow your advice, they follow your guidance, and whatever you say to them, they're going to pretty much do without questioning, because it becomes that authority. So I would say the whole goal is to get people into the group versus having the one-on-one. I mean, what we might find with this webinar coming up on Thursday is the people that you've invited, you might get a load of people invited. You might get a load of people accepting the link. You might get a load of people registering. You might get a load of people submitting that application form. If that happens, keep doing what you're doing. If it doesn't happen, think about doing a slightly different approach and see if you can get people to join your group. That needs to be the focus of the conversation.
I've been having quite a few talks on Skype with different people. And I've been giving also information about the 6 steps and everything. The people, they're really pleased with that.
Cool.
I get a lot of thank you, and and the people, they find it very positive. I give very positive, at least that's what they keep telling me. I've got a few people going on a webinar, and as Neil asked, when the people want to see the reply, do they have to they have to fill in for the webinar, or how do we do? We're going to do that. I've got 2 people from the States. They are working on that time.
Right. So, for the replay.
So they can never watch anyway if it's always on this time.
Yes.
So, but they really want.
Get them to fill out. Get them to register anyway. Then tell them that you'll send them a link to the replay after it's finished and after we've got the replay uploaded. Tell them it will last for 20. I think the message is in the instructions as well. What to send. Tell them it will last for 48 hours.
48 hours.
Taking it down, and that will mean that they'll apply. They'll watch it. They should watch it anyway. If they don't, then maybe just move on to the next people.
Okay. So, one of them, you spoke with him already. One is going to be on a webinar.
Great.
Do you remember you you had a chat with him?
It was probably Pippa that did it. Not
a time ago. It's going to be on a webinar now for sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure, there are 4 people for sure. They're going to be on a webinar.
Good. Well.
So I keep trying. I keep doing. I'm very consistent. Every day, and.
You are one of the most consistent people I know, and I greatly appreciate all you do. I really do. So well done for what you do.
It's not yet my time, but it will come. I believe in it.
It will come.
It will. Yeah.
One thing that's worth bearing in mind, and again, I'll say this to everybody, is consistency is incredibly important, without a doubt. You've got to be as consistent as possible, because when you take the foot off the gas, that's when you lose consistency and it's hard to get back on again. However, consistency will continue to go. The other way to look at things as well is
focus where can be better.
Yeah, that as well, definitely.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of people getting results, there's a lot of people not getting the results that they want yet. So I forget who uses this term or this phrase, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. So
I know.
If anybody finds that they're not getting the results they want, you've got to try something else. So if you always post quote pictures, mix it up and do something different. If you always post written work and you're not getting results, then mix it up and do some quote pictures. If you always do one thing, change it and do something else. If you always post in this group, change it and try a different group. If you always only make friends on Facebook, well, change it and build, instead of just building relationships, change it and try to get people into the group. And so consistency is important, but again, I've the only reason I can say that is because I've done it. I've hit those barriers. I've had the problems and things didn't work for me. I've got my hopes up. I've got really excited about something and then nothing. Then I've got my hopes up. I've got really excited about something and nothing. I've spent months preparing for a launch or a webinar and nothing. And then the next time I did it, I changed it. I changed the approach and all of a sudden made thousands of dollars in commissions, So you learn from every time you do something.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Actually, the people that have been asking me for friendship and is going on Facebook, they are all entrepreneurs. They're all people from old sort of a business. They are not just people, just for fun.
Yes, good.
So I'm visiting them and I'm talking with them, checking with them, on Skype with them. So, and I'm building a relationship with them.
Good.
No.
Last thing, and then I'll move on to Sonia. Make people jump through hoops if you can, because if you give too much, because I said this to the last group, actually, I used to give my time for free to everybody, and it was taking a lot of my time. There was a guy called David that I used to know that I met a few times in person, and he was a nice friend and that, but he would always ask me questions like, Gavin, I've got a problem with my blog. Can you help me? Or my hosting's not working. Or how do I register this website name? Or how do I set up a group on Facebook? And I would always be like, yeah, here you go. And I was thinking, actually, whilst I'm helping this person, I'm not spending time with my family. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not playing on my guitar. I'm not doing the things that I want to do. And I'm not making any money from it. I'm just doing it for free. Why bother doing that? So I thought, well, hang on a sec. I went back to him. I said, I'm happy to help you. However, it's going to cost. I'm now charging $100 an hour for my time, or whatever it was at the time. I never heard from him again. So what you'll find is, if you do, there's a balance between helping everybody and getting all the praise and thanks and all the even engagement. I could get 100 comments in the group, let's say, for it, or somebody could get 100 comments in their group, and yet they're still making no money. And we get the pats on the back, we get all these people saying how great we are, and it feels amazing to us, but at the same time, it's not putting any money in our bank account. So we've got to have a balance between that, the conversations, the Skypes, and we all do it, everybody. I still have to rein myself in sometimes and say, well, hang on. So if you give people too much, they'll take as much as they want, and they'll never invest with you. If you give people little teasers and just let them jump over the hoop, what I say is, go and read this post and come back to me, or go and watch this video and come back to me. If they don't come back to me, I don't hear from them again. I don't follow up with them. If they do come back to me, I know that they've jumped through a hoop, they've taken action, they're serious, they want something, they need some help, and I'm happy to maybe sell them my time, or sell them a product, or invite them to a webinar or whatever. So so it's
absolutely true what you said. Yeah, absolutely.
It's finding your own balance ultimately.
Yeah, it's completely. Yeah.
Cool, good stuff. Well, thank you for sharing, and congrats, and keep doing it.
Oh, sorry, Gavin. You need an application. Do I have to send that application to you?
Yeah. What I would like you to do is, if you fill it out and then select your name at the bottom, as in pretend that you're your own prospect.
Okay.
The application is then, what I want to check is the application goes to your email address. So when anybody that you've invited to the webinar, they're going to fill out the application and it's going to go to you. And I just want to make sure that it works.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Sorry for the confusion. And
okay, that's okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Speak to you later. Sonia, I just unmuted you.
Oh, great. You unmuted me.
I did. How are you?
Okay. I'm great. Thank you. A little under the weather, so my lighting is a little weird today, I guess. And I have my hat on and everything. But anyway, I'm glad to make the call. Can you hear me well? Is it loud enough?
Yeah, really good, actually. Really good.
All right, great. Well, this has been still, a good experience for me. I feel I like what Neil was saying earlier regarding the authenticity, because as I have gotten my live videos going inside of my group and with my challenge, my 12-week challenge, it's helped me to feel more like what I'm offering people is something that I can really show them, and it's just just a much more comfortable feeling, because what I'm telling them that they can do, I've either done part of it already myself, or I'm doing it. So
authentic again. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I just feel so much more comfortable with that. And because that was part of my trepidation before, as far as how I was going to offer what I know is available for people. So this is a good thing that I got those. This is the 3rd week of the challenge, and everything is going well. Weight is coming down, and pretty soon I'll move into even more of the physical fitness part of it. But so that part is great. So that helps me with the content, and I've been putting that in on my personal Facebook page without mentioning my company, and because I remember you mentioned that, and I've been transferring it over to the group as a share. I remember last time we spoke and you mentioned a product that I could use to sort of like Hootsuite for live videos. I think I wasn't sure the name.
Yeah, I never sent you the link to that, did I?
Right. So
I got distracted the next day.
Yeah, there was someone else asked you something right after that, and I meant to mention it actually on that same call again. But yeah, that of course that can happen. So yeah, whenever when you get a chance, you could send that to me. That'd be great. I really would appreciate it. I know it's called Live something. Live Leap.
Yeah, I'll dig it out now whilst you're talking. Actually, I'm listening at the same time.
All right, great. And the other thing is that I have listened to what you were saying earlier on the call, which was part of my content creation problem, was how to really put the information out there without actually giving away everything, because I have found that telling someone something doesn't really help them with the program, because it's almost like you just basically give them some information, but they're not real. Even if it was someone who was going to become a part of the program, once they think they've got it figured out, because you told them, because I've told them, then it sort of misses their chance to actually do something that's so beneficial for them. So I like the way it helped me out earlier when you said that Ray Hickman, he can give out, he gives out a whole lot of information, but it's the structure that people are not getting. So that really helped me a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, we can all get information from if we had the next week to sit down and go through YouTube and Google and research and find stuff, we would do it. But most people are so busy; they want information. They don't want information. They want results now. They want instant gratification. They don't want to spend days and weeks going through it. So anything that can be done for you, or information now, if it was, people would probably even spend $1,000 on a one-page cheat sheet that told them step by step, this is the recipe for this. If they knew they could read one page, get results in 24 hours, they would spend a fortune on it. Whereas somebody would be very hesitant to spend even $10 on something that is going to take them a year to complete to get the same results.
Right. Oh, okay. That makes me feel even better then, because I'm giving this a 12-week challenge for me, because I know I can get this done in 12 weeks. And it is a push still to get it done. It is actually a challenge to get this done, because it's losing weight and toning and fitness. And of course, in 12 weeks, I can't mess up, because that is going to mess up the results. So, it's a sort of a mental thing, and it's and also being able to show people how to do it, so that they're not sort of just spending their time trying to get it done and not get it. So like what you just said, to show them some sort of tangible result. So that's good because in that first week, I can show them how they can make that happen for them in 1 week. And I just want to bring up something else to you, because it will help me out a little bit more here. Now that I have gotten the real idea of how I'm presenting the information, and I have the group, and I have a way that I'm going to be flowing the information in with Instagram, I'm just wondering about the message that I'm setting out to give people. Initially on my Instagram, what I did was I told people that I had lost a certain amount of weight, and that I know how to do it and how to do it healthily, and help them get off of medications and things like that. And all of that is correct information. I'm just thinking it's a little bit too much for people to really understand and even believe at the beginning, especially if they've tried to lose weight before and get healthy before. So I was thinking about using the word like reset, or what was the other one I wrote down was take control. Because I felt like with what I'm doing is I help people to take control of their life, because they get control of their health, or reset their life really in a real way, or reset their health. So I'm just trying to see if you think either those two sets of words, or which ones I could kind of focus on in my group, and also on my social media for sort of funnel people in to help people out, because it wouldn't be me just saying the words. It would be me actually being able to show them how it can actually happen for them. But I don't want to scare people off by telling them that they can do something with their life and changing their life. Because that seems to scare people too.
Again, I'm not 100%. I don't know exactly the message you use and the process you use, but I know if I make friends with somebody on Facebook and they send me a long message that talks about all their qualifications and what they do, what they've done, their results, I couldn't care less, to be honest. I'm really not interested. All I care about is how they can help me, and what they can do for me, and that's all that your prospect cares about as well. So if you think about it in that perspective, shorter messages are best. Trying to get to know somebody by asking open questions, finding out what they're struggling with and their pains. Exactly what you talked about with your results is definitely important for credibility and authority a little bit later down the line. But what they care about right now is what is what's in it for them, and are you interested in them, and do you, by asking them a few questions, and all we do, with the 6 message processes, the first question is, hey, great to meet you. We've just approved you for the group. Just out of interest, whereabouts do you live? And they'll come back often. It's an easy question to answer. It's not business related. It's not, it's not even related to making money. It's nothing to do. It's just a personal question. We're here to help. We're interested in you. 80% of people, 70 to 80% of people that we send that message to, we get a response from. Next question is something, I forget exactly the message process. Next question is, just out of interest, what business are you building? So we always give so let's say in your conversation, second message comes back and they're like, oh, I live in Birmingham in the Midlands. Oh, great. I know Birmingham. I know a few people that live there. If you do, obviously, if you've got a connection to it, there's a little positive acknowledgement at the top. And then it's like, oh, just out of interest, I don't know your industry that well, so I'm not. I don't know exactly.
Wellness. It's wellness.
Just out of interest.
Yeah.
We'd have to figure it out that way, but it would have to be. It could be related to a problem or a challenge that they've got. So it's got to be low barrier. So you can't just assume. Obviously, just out of interest, how much weight are you trying to lose? Well, I'm not trying to lose any weight. Rapport broken straight away. So it's got to be something that is general enough that that they're going to answer, that can help you probe further into their pains, problems, challenges, goals, and aspirations. So think of a question that you could ask that could do that in the second message, maybe.
Okay, got you.
Can you think of anything?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
sorry.
like no. If you can't think
sure.
of anything,
I could ask. Have you tried? Have you tried to lose weight before and failed? Have you tried to get into your favorite swimsuit this year and found that it was too small for you?
What about is there anything about your health that you'd like to change?
Mm-hmm.
Something, because it's open, it's not talking about weight. It's not, because you might find they're not even, they don't want to lose weight.
Something even more general. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, so a bit more general, a bit more high level, and then you can start. So it's a big net to start with, and you're basically trying to get them further into this net or this funnel, not in a negative way, but you're trying to be a consultant. You're trying to ask questions. If you go to the doctor, so how are you today? Oh, well, I'm not feeling too good. Oh, so you're not feeling too good. Well, is there any specific symptoms that you've got? Anything like, why are you here? Well, I've got a bit of a cold. My head hurts. I've got a bit, and then I'll go, okay, so anything else? Or, well, I've got a sore throat, and then, I'll take the thing, take some measurements or whatever, listen to your heartbeat, kind of drill down deeper until he finds what the problem is, and then he'll provide a solution to the problem later. So So you want to get, because you've got to realize also that not everybody that comes into your group is interested in the same thing, so or has got the same problem. Your goal is to find out what their problems, their pains, their struggles, their challenges, their desires, and their aspirations are. What do they want to achieve? What are they struggling with? What keeps them awake at night? What makes them worry? What is a burden for them? If you can find those answers out, you'll be able to then essentially prescribe the right solution for them.
Okay, that's very good for me, because that's been one of my situations as well. Now I'm going to ask you 2 questions all along that same line, but I've got to ask you the first one first. Since I've been trying to, what I have thought about doing was I was making one day a week in my group, more of a marketing for the program type of situation, which is what I thought of Wednesday, because I would call that a Wellness Wednesday or something along that line. Mm-hmm. And then taking the information that you just gave me and sort of framing, you know, most of the posts that day, especially the first one of the day, around that sort of that sort of questioning. You know, are there things you would like to change about your health, or is it, you know, what you just said? You know, I don't want to, you know, rephrase what you said the wrong way, but you know, of course, I'll listen to the call again.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking of doing that. So that's the first part of the question. Now, the second part is that in terms of me finding an audience for myself, and I guess that's part of my problem, was trying to figure out whether or not I should be focusing on an audience that I know I'm very familiar with, or should I be keeping it more broad? Like, I would probably, a lot of my clients, I think maybe if I look at my clients, most of them have been women. I have men clients too, and they've been successful, but most of my clients have been women. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm approaching women more, or if it's because I am a woman and, you know, and it's just simpler, or maybe it's because I notice women, weight is a big thing for everybody, but in society as a general thing, it's a huge thing for women. So maybe I'm not sure what it is, what the focus of that is for me. You know what I mean?
It's a good point. And again, there's no right or wrong. I think it comes down to relatability and rapport, and it's easier to, certainly from other women are going to find it easier to relate to other women. Other men are going to find it easier to relate to other men. Not always, but often, and especially when it comes to health and wellness and weight loss and that kind of thing. Probably. Now, I don't know that for definite. That's just an idea that I think.
And also, I'm sorry, just one other thing I want to add for you, Gavin. I found also that the clients that I've had, that are the male clients, after they've achieved their goals, they're like the most, they're very, very much, they're much more easy to give thanks and just overjoyed with their results for whatever reason, you know. And I've had people avoid surgery. I've had them avoid knee surgery. I've had people, men, of just lose weight and get to the weight that they want, and just their health is improved. I mean, they're always happy, you know. And it's consistent with the men that when they achieve their results, they are so happy. There's just ridiculous. There's just a beautiful reaction that I get from them. And I get the same reaction from women too, but it's just that with the men, it seems to last longer for some reason, in terms of the way that the feedback that they give me, you know.
I think
so. I'm just wondering too about that's regarding relatability that you were talking about.
It's interesting. I think one thing that you want to do is come up with your perfect customer avatar. Define who your perfect customer is. So it could be a female between 35 and 45, works full-time, has 2 children, you know, goes to the gym but can't lose weight, keeps eating foods that they shouldn't eat. And, you know, write it out as if you are the person. So write out, I am a 35, I'm 42 years old, I've got 2 children, this, that, and the other, and get yourself in their shoes, put yourself in their shoes. And you can probably relate to a lot of who your perfect avatar is, because often our perfect avatar is who we are, or who we've been in the past. And then when you write your content and you create your content, write it to that person as if you're talking to that one person. And, you know, when I write emails to people, I'll write with, not necessarily so much now, but because I can do it automatically, but I've got somebody in my mind. I know who they are. I know the age. I know what they're struggling with. I know their goals, their aspirations, their dreams. I know their problems, their struggles, their fears. And when I write to that person, it tends to connect with 80% of the other people on my list or who read the post, because that one person reflects so many other people. So, you know, if you were writing to a female of a certain age and, you know, in your mind they've got, because otherwise you end up, your message gets fragmented. It's like, well, am I writing to somebody with children? Am I writing to somebody with who's a man? Am I writing to a woman? I'd say write to women. If you choose a sex to write to that person, thinking about them. When I say write to them, I mean create your content based on their problems and pains. What you'll probably find is if you did write to women specifically and you're talking about their pains and problems, you'd find that some men would gravitate into that anyway. And even though you're talking about women and that, it's not, by all, from the outside, men probably wouldn't be interested. Some will be anyway, and they'll come in anyway just because they resonate with the way that you talk. So that, I think that's the biggest thing and that'll help you then almost eliminate. So you can still attract everybody, but you're writing to one person.
Thank you. I think that's very interesting, because I think I've been assuming a lot of times that the person that would be most interested in what the way that I would relate to them might be a woman, but it might surprise me that it might end up being men, or men of different age groups, or I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it would be, but yeah, I'll do that. And I think one of the problems I also have had is not being specific enough in a general way. I know it sounds funny, but but like asking the more deeper questions, but in a more general type of way. I think I'll figure it out exactly more what I'm saying. But I think
and the consultation, your application or consultation form. I mean, you could have that as a goal, that when you're talking to people, you're engaging with them. Maybe your first goal is to get them into your group. And then maybe once they're in your group, then the next goal is to get them onto a consultation call. And then you can actually ask them questions physically, verbally. You can ask them the same questions. Eventually, basically all you're trying to do is find out their pains, problems, challenges, struggles, goals, aspirations, desires, pain and pleasure, and then just recommend something to them based on. Because when you deliver something to them, the people aren't interested in us mostly because we're not specific to their problem. We're too general. We don't know the prospect. But as soon as you know your prospect, as soon as you know what they're struggling with, as soon as you know their individual problem, you can basically prescribe something for them specifically. And they know you're talking to them. They know it's for them because you've listened to them, you've heard them. You've reflected back what they've talked about, and now you're recommending something to them that can help them get what they want. So it comes down to, there's a book called, I think it's called either The Consultative Approach or Consultative Selling, and it comes down to being a consultant essentially, and asking questions, uncovering problems and desires, and providing solutions.
Okay, all right, thank you. I definitely appreciate that.
Cool.
And I guess the only other thing is I just working more with my Instagram and using Hootsuite and building. So I just feel more solid. This has been a good call. All of the calls have been great for me, but I just keep on digging a little deeper and just making sure that I'm doing actions rather than just doing the learning part of it, which I'm still doing as well. But and more I do the actions, and every week that I do the video and do more content, it's getting better and better.
Good. And I think you're getting a lot out of it because the questions you ask are good questions as well. They're really good questions, and they make me think. They make me think because obviously you're doing a different niche to what many people are, but you're leading more with the product, which is great. And I'd hope to get more people that do that in the future as well. Lead with the product, so we can talk about if you're in a travel business, then creating a Facebook group around travel and around freedom and fun, fulfillment, and living a lifestyle. If you're in a health and wellness group, creating a group around that. If you're in a different type of group, creating a group around that. Often what we're doing right now is we're targeting network marketers, and it just becomes, it's a very hungry market, let's put it that way. But at the same time, there's also, this process will work with any other groups as well. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. One question I just wanted to answer from Lynn, and then we'll wrap up.
And live leap.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you.
I think I've got it pretty much on my.
I appreciate it, Gavin. Everything you're so great and helpful. Thank you.
Pleasure. No, thank you for sharing as well. Lynn said, we know the main problem of network marketers online, but is there one particular question you would use to get through to them, as they are always reluctant to say? Just the ones that we use in the online network marketers blueprint and the 6 steps. assume that they're struggling, because 99% of people are struggling. I would literally just say, out of interest, what business is it you're building? And the next question would be, are you building this mostly online or offline? Then the next question would be, which bit do you struggle with most? Is it generating leads, or is it converting leads into sales and signups? And we're assuming that they're struggling because we know they're struggling. 99% of people are struggling. So just keep the questions like that and you should be good. Cool. All right, good. We'll wrap up there because we're a bit over. And thank you for everybody being here. Anyone got any other questions, let me know in the group, and I'll see you all soon. See you then. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.